Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about the 500mm f4 and is it something you should be adding to your camera bag in 2025. Now the reality is these are coming down in price pretty dramatically. If you're looking for a version you don't care about really the condition of it, as long as the glass is clean, you're looking at just over £1,000 now. You can pick these up for. On eBay you might even be lucky and get one for even less. If you're looking for a good condition, about £1,300, which for a prime 500mm like this is not a lot of money, let's be honest. This one, the example here, I've had now for 4 years now, and it was a 6 out of 10 rating, so it was a good rating when I got it, and it's been absolutely fine. I had a cover on it most of its life just because of the photography I do with it. And it looks absolutely fine underneath as well. So let me show you some of the imagery you can get with this lens using both the R3 and the 1DX Mark II, and then I'll come back and tell you if you should buy one or not. So the first image I have here for you today is of a Kestrel in hover. This was taken on the R3, so this is converted with the 500mm and just shooting straight up into the sky. You can see the level of detail, the way it tracked it was really good as well. Tracking was working really well. This bird wasn't actually that far away, which is why it's quite full in the frame. But the details, the level of detail you get is really nice and crisp, especially across the eyes, all the spots and stuff. And I was lucky enough this bird was hovering for a good 2 to 3 minutes in the area, just circling around trying to find some prey, doing a couple of dives here and there. But really nice, sharp image. And shows you as well how well it works with converted into an R3. So here we have a photo of the common kingfisher in dive here, and this is converted again onto the R3. And what I did here was I had it pre-focused on the bird sat on a branch. As it dived, the tracking followed it and went through. And what you can see is it's not tracked it 100% perfectly because it's diving incredibly quickly, and it's also converted lens. So what I was seeing on the screen, especially when you review it, you can see the focus point's actually near its tail. It's no longer at the face because it can't keep up with how quickly the kingfish is diving. And still luckily brought out a very good image because the bird's all in line in a sense, so you're still going to get that sharp image all the way through to the beak. But using an RF lens would have been better in this situation. It would have been a quicker focusing, but again it's still a very usable image. Colours are really nice, the details are really nice, and it's a very clear, concise image. And finally here we have an image of a baby leopard to finish the video off. This was taken on the 1DX Mark II to show you sort of an image taken on a DSLR as well. Really nice, the colours really deep. This is early year, so this is like January, February time, and the light is just a lot darker. And you see these details on the ivy there, really nice dark green contrasting to the brightness of the leopard cub itself with the bright blue eyes there as well, and just really nice sharp beautiful image taken with this lens. And considering this lens is so old now, and to get these kind of imagery from it still just shows how good quality L glass is and why it's definitely worth paying the extra to invest in L glass long term if you can. So as you can see from those imagery that I've just shown you, that in both world situations and even zoo scenarios you can get very clear, crisp images on both mirrorless and on DSLR. Now I am fully aware that the imagery I've shown you is taken on the top flight of technology, so the R3. At the time I took those photos there was no R1, so that was the top camera they provided. It's going to give the best opportunity to give the best imagery possible. It's got the bigger battery in it, it can run the motors a little bit faster, etc. Same with the 1DX Mark II, that is one of the top flight DSLRs. It's going to run a lot better with this than say a 1000D or something. But it's still a good representation of what that image quality you can get, especially when stuff like the R6 Mark II, the R6 Mark III coming out very soon, which is going to have a very similar motor in it and system in it, potentially as the R3. So the only thing that's different there is the battery not being able to drive it as hard. So you're still going to get that same image quality though that you're going to get from one of these higher flight cameras, and that should give you a reference and a base of what you can really get from these. Now is it worth it? If you've got a spare, £1,000 you want a nice sharp prime lens that you can use in lower light. Those Kestrel photos, sorry, that I posted on there, that's taken a little bit lower light. The one at the end with the baby leopard with the 1DX Mark II, as I said in the video, that is taken beginning of the year, so you've got a very low light there and it's still a very crisp, clear, sharp image. Being at f4, you can run it there later into the day, so if you are doing stuff like owls, which I've done photos of already and shown you in videos before, you can shoot for longer, shoot for later, because you've got that f4 letting in a little bit more light. The only way to get any better than this would be go to a 400mm 2.8, but then you're not going to get the reach. You're not going to get the bird in frame as much, but you would get that a little bit more light. But then you're spending £5,000 on a Mark 1. So, you know, there are swings and roundabouts on things where to go. I think if you've got £1,000 spare and you want something that's going to increase the opportunities of you getting more wildlife, bird imagery especially, but stuff like deer as well, if you're taking a lot of photos of deer, stuff you need to be a little bit further away not to spook the animal, this is a massively good investment for you, just because of the prices these are now. You know, the Mark IIs are £3,000–4,000. They're a lot lighter, they're a little bit better balanced, but you're still getting the same image quality. This is just as sharp as a Mark II, and the reason why it's so cheap is because it's just a heavy brick and it's very old. But one major thing you do have to remember when buying lenses that are this old and this out of date is that Canon will not service them. So you do have that risk of, if something goes wrong with it, that you might have an issue long term, unless you can find someone who can privately repair, which there are a few people who do that and can privately repair these. What I do is I have all my cameras and lenses insured, so if something does go wrong, if I drop it, break it, crack an element, I can go through my insurance and do it that way instead. So things to think about: if you're using DSLR 100%, if you're using something like an R7, then be a bit more cautious, because the focusing is noticeably slower on something like an R7 and R10. R6 and upwards, they are quite as good as an R3 or an R1, but they're still very, very usable, and I wouldn't have any concerns using an R6, R6 Mark II, R5, R5 Mark II on one of these lenses, and know I'm going to get the imagery that I want. Now, I hope this video has been useful for you. Please let me know down in the comments down below what your thoughts are. Do you have one of these lenses? Are you thinking about getting one of these lenses, and have I convinced you to buy one? What do you think of the results when you get it? Let me know down below. Please subscribe if you're already not subscribed, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks as always, guys. See you again soon. Goodbye.